The L&N Railroad wove itself through the fabric of rural Kentucky for over 130 years. The familiar sounds of the locomotive crisscrossed the countryside. The Louisville and Nashville Railroad was founded in 1850, 10 years before the start of the Civil War. It was the first major railroad in the West, headquartered in Louisville, Kentucky. The L&N grew into one of the great American success stories, operating under one name continuously for 132 years. At its height, the L&N was a 6,000-mile railroad system that served 13 states, reaching from the Great Lakes to the Ohio River Valley and down to Florida and the Gulf Coast. The history of the L&N and the development of the United States, especially in the South, is so intricately linked that from 1850 to 1963, history would not be complete without telling the stories of the people who managed, worked, and relied on the L&N Railroad, fondly referred to as Old Reliable. Sadly, much of the history and stories of the L&N Railroad were almost forgotten, left in a bygone era. In 1954, a group of dedicated rail enthusiasts wanted to preserve this history. This group founded the Kentucky Railway Museum. The Kentucky Railway Museum had to overcome many obstacles, including floods, urban development, and displacement. Like the dedicated railroad workers of the L&N, the volunteers of the museum never stopped working to preserve this unique history and introduce the railroad to a new generation. After 35 years in the Louisville area, the museum found a permanent home in New Haven, Kentucky. Many feel this is a magical place. It is truly a place where history comes alive, where the locomotive still rolls along the tracks, where smiles still shine on the faces of the young and old, where memories are made and relived, where the sound of the locomotive can still be heard in the distance.
My goodness. You could get away from the law, huh? you
Come on,
might
tell him I had
not
nothing to do
today.
with it. Here, somebody fill out a card.
Welcome to the Kentucky Railway Museum, where history comes alive. The purpose of the Kentucky Railway Museum is to educate the public about the history and heritage of Kentucky's railroads and the people who built and maintained them.
When Granny was going to college, she would ride from Memphis.
The museum has something for everyone: displays, railroad artifacts, and an entire building dedicated to model train displays. Get up close and personal with the museum's rolling stock, or create your own experience at your own pace. Come celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, or your company picnic with us. Whatever the occasion, we would love to share it with you. Experience springtime in Kentucky as the redbuds bloom and the Easter Bunny hops from train car to train car with the Cottontail Express. The young passengers can experience a 22-mile train ride, a personal visit from the Easter Bunny, and a bag of Easter goodies. All aboard for Thomas the Tank Engine. This classic storybook friend rolls into New Haven for a day out with Thomas. This fun-filled family event offers children and their grown-ups the opportunity to engineer miles of smiles. Since Thomas the Tank Engine left the depot more than 50 years ago, this really useful engine and his island of Sodor friends have chugged their way into the heart of children and grown-ups worldwide. Come meet Sir Topham Hatt. Enjoy a show with Mr. Magic and all of Thomas's friends. It's all here at the Kentucky Railway Museum. Be warned, at the Kentucky Railway Museum, you never know when there might be a train robbery. From bandits to bushwhackers to bootleggers, you never know when you might get recruited to join the gang.
Okay, I'll show you that.
It's our secret. You can be part of our gang, the Dawson gang.
Dawson?
Oh, okay, all right.
These bands of outlaws are sure to rustle up some excitement as they move through the passenger cars.
I got you. You can't get away from the long arm and the law. I got you dead right. You ain't gonna steal no more payroll out of this train ever again.
I'm innocent.
Never again. Oh, innocent.
Take a ride on the Mystery Train and get involved in solving a murder mystery as it plays out.
Somebody has died. Our brother has died. You tell us your brother died.
Here, somebody didn't fill out a card.
Your evening begins at the historic Sherwood Inn with dinner and a play. The mystery continues as you board the train. Watch the action unfold and follow the clues to try to discover who done it. When a chill fills the air and the pumpkins are ready for carving, Join the ghosts and goblins aboard the Halloween Express. Be sure to come in costume and be ready for tricks and treats as you enjoy the ghoulish pizza party and the colorful fall scenery. Experience the magic of the Christmas season with the North Pole Express as the train departs the station en route to pick up a very special passenger. Make this a family holiday tradition. For a special treat, check the listings for when the famed L&N 152 leaves the depot. 152 has had quite a history. The steam locomotive 152 was built in 1905. It was one of L&N's first 5 Pacific-type locomotives designed for passenger service. It was the first piece dedicated to the museum in 1954. The engine was part of a static display at the Kentucky Railway Museum, undergoing years of disrepair, including a major flood. A group of dedicated museum volunteers decided to restore this piece of history to its past glory. The operating restoration of L&N 152 was a 13-year labor of love. All of this work was performed in an outdoor shop entirely by volunteers and stands as one of the best examples of a preserved operating steam locomotive in the country. In September of 1985, the engine moved under its own power after 30 years' retirement.
Well, let me put it this way. I wouldn't do it again for $1 million. But I wouldn't have missed it for $1 million.
Today, the locomotive that started it all, L&N 152, still brings goosebumps when the whistle sounds through the scenic Rolling Fork River Valley.